Hi everyone, this video is going to be over continuous domain and range. There is a blank copy of this posted in Google Classroom. So we have some special notes that we need to talk about today. Okay, so we're going to talk about, first remember we have Dr. XY, domain goes with the X, range goes with the Y. Remember domain goes left to right, and range goes bottom to top. Okay, we also have our inequality symbols. We have no line, open, circle. So let's write that. And then we have our inequality symbols with a line. Those get closed circles. Okay, now when we're doing domain and range that's continuous, okay, we have an option to have two stops, meaning it has two endpoints, and we'll end up using two numbers in our domain or range inequality. Okay, if it has one stop, meaning one point, we're just going to end up using one number. Okay, if it has no stops, then that means it's going to be all real numbers, and there are some special cases with that, so when we get to those, I'll let you know. So let's look at the first example. Okay, how many endpoints do we have? We have two, so this is one that is two stops. So what we need to do is we need to label the points. So for this bottom point down here, I go from the origin, I go over -4 down 2. So that point is -4, -2. Okay. For this other point, I go over in the positive direction 3 and up 4. So that is 3, 4. Now, domain talks about our x values. We read domain from left to right. Okay, so we want to start with our leftmost x value and go to our rightmost x value. So we have a left x value of -4. We put our variable in the middle, and we have a right x value of 3. Now we need to know our inequality signs. Well, our inequality signs like to open up towards the biggest number. So the biggest number out of -4 and 3 is +3. So my inequality signs open up towards the 3. They're always going in the same direction. Okay. Now, based on my circle, it's closed. With -4, I have a line underneath it because I have a closed circle. So I like to write the circle above. That way I remember why I put the line underneath it. Okay. The one circle with the 3 also is closed, so it also gets a line underneath. Okay. Our range is our y values. For the range, we start from the bottom. Now we're here, right? No? Okay. Bottom to top. If you didn't get that, I'm sorry. If you did get that, yes, I did just make a Drake reference. So, we want to talk about our bottom y value. That's -2. Because we're talking about range, we use y in the middle. And our top y value is 4. Again, our inequality signs always open up towards the biggest number. But now, again, we have two closed circles, so they both get lines underneath. So I put the little circles above. That way I know why I put the line underneath. Okay, so go ahead and try this one. Pause the video and see if you can figure it out. Okay, so on this one, again, we have two stops. Okay, so we need to label our points. So we have to go over 2 in the negative direction and down 3. So that gives me a -2, -3. For this one, we go over in the positive direction 2 and we go up 4. So we go 2 to 4. So we want to talk about domain, which is our x values. Again, it goes left to right. So my bottom x value is -2. I put x in the middle, and my left x value is -2. My right x value is +2. Okay, I have two closed circles, which means they both have lines underneath. Okay, because I have closed circles, and they open up towards the bigger number. +2 is bigger. Okay, my range is my y values. It goes bottom to top. Okay, so my bottom y value is a -3. Y goes in the middle, and my top y value is 4. Okay, 4 is the bigger number, so my inequality signs need to open up towards the 4. And because they're both, again, closed circles, they get lines underneath them because they're closed circles. Looking at this next one. Okay, again, we have two stops. So we need to label our points. Okay, so the point, we go over 3 in the negative direction and up 4. So we get -3, +4. Then we go over 4 and down 1. So I have 4, -1. So from here, let's see. Domain is our x values. Again, we go left to right. Okay, so my leftmost x value is -3. X goes in the middle, and my rightmost x value is 4. Okay, so now this is where we have to be careful. Okay, both of them are going to open up towards the 4, but we have to make sure if we have a line or no line. So if we're looking at this circle right here, it's open. No line, open circle. And that goes with the -3. So this one stays with no line. And I put the open circle above it, that way we know why. But when I go to the 4 over here, it's a closed circle, so the 4 gets a line underneath it. Okay? So they have to open in the same direction, but one can have no line and one can have a line. So now let's go to the range. It's my y's. We go bottom to top. Bottom to top. So my bottommost y value is -1. Y goes in the middle. And my topmost y value is 4. Okay? The -1 has a closed circle, which means it gets a line. Okay? The 4, though, has an open circle, which means it gets no line. So that would be the range. So pause the video and see if you can do this one on your own. Okay, so hopefully you tried this and you knew that this was 2 stops. Okay? And you labeled the points. So this point up at the top, we go over -4, and we go up 5, so -4, 5. And then this point down here, we go over 3 and down 2, so we have a +3, -2. Okay, our domain is our x values. We go left to right. So my leftmost x value is -4. X goes in the middle. And my rightmost x value is 3. Okay? With the -4, it's a closed circle, so it gets a line underneath it. With the 3, it's an open circle, no line, open circle, so it gets no line. My range is my y values. It goes bottom to top. Bottom to top. So my bottommost y value is a -2. Y goes in the middle. My topmost y value is 5. Okay, -2 has an open circle, which means no line. And my topmost is a closed circle, which means it gets a line underneath. So hopefully you were able to do that. Okay, now we're going to switch it up a little bit. Okay, we still have 2 stops, but now it's a vertical line. Okay, we're still going to start by labeling the points. So this top one, we go over -3 and up 3, so -3, +3. This bottom point, we go over -3 again, but we go down 4. So my domain, it's still left to right. But if you notice, the graph isn't going left to right. Okay, it's not going like this. Okay, it's just staying at one constant area. Well, that means our x values, if you notice, they're exactly the same. No matter what x value I pick on that line, it's always going to be -3, so my x is just equal to -3. Now my range is exactly the same way it's been, okay? Bottom to top. The bottommost y value is -4, y goes in the middle, and the topmost y value is 3. Okay, the -4 has a closed circle, which means it gets a line underneath it. The 3 has an open circle, which means no line. Okay, so see if you can do this one on your own. So, again, 2 stops. So we need to label our point. So this point is 2, 4. The bottom point is again 2, but we go down 3, so -3. So my x value, again, left to right, left to right. My x values are exactly the same, and no matter what x value I pick on that line, it's going to be the same, so it's just x equals 2. Okay, the range, bottom to top, so my bottom y value is -3. Y goes in the middle. My top y value is 4. The -3 has an open circle, no line. The 4 has a closed circle, which means it gets a line. And that's it for domain and range. Okay, looking at the next page. So some of you are probably wondering, when do we get to the ones that have 1 stop or no stops? Well, here's one. So this has 1 stop. Anytime you see a 1 stop, you still need to label the 1 stop you have. So we go over -5 down 2. So we get -5, -2. And you have to understand that there's an arrow, which means this is going to keep going forever and ever and ever and ever. Okay? So here we go. Domain is still left to right. Okay? What I need you to understand is, if I were to crop this picture right here, notice that all of the x values are getting bigger. Okay, they're going in the positive direction forever and ever and ever. So all of my x values are greater than or equal to, because it's a closed circle, -5, because everything's bigger than -5. So x is greater than or equal to -5. Okay, remember the inequality opens up towards the bigger number. Okay, now let's take a look at the range. Let me erase some of this mess. Okay, the range goes bottom to top because it's the y values. Okay, because it's bottom to top, now we are going to cut it off right here. Notice all of my y values are getting bigger than -2. Okay, they're all going up. So because it's going up, I have y is greater than or equal to -2. Again, because I have a closed circle. So see if you can do this next one on your own. So again, we have 1 stop. We need to label this point. So it goes over -1, down 4, so -1, -4. This arrow means it keeps going forever and ever and ever. Okay, so we want to talk about our domain going left to right. Okay, so if I draw the wall where it stops, right there. Okay, notice all of my x values are getting bigger. Okay, they're growing, they're going in the positive direction. Then my -1. So I have x is greater than or equal to -1. Okay, good job. Now we're going to talk about our y values. Our y values are all getting bigger than that -4. They're all going up. So our y, our range, which is bottom to top, is always y is greater than or equal to, oh, Miss Faina made a mistake and no one caught me. Okay, what's wrong with my inequality symbol? It has a line underneath it. Why does it not need a line? Because they're open circles. No line, open circles. So they both should have had open circles. So hopefully you caught that. Okay. So there's that for the range. Looking here. Okay, again, we have a one stop. One stop. So we need to label this point. We go over 4, down 1, so 4, -1. This arrow is going to keep going. Okay, so remember, domain, we're going left to right. Okay, if you notice, our graph, they're all getting smaller than our x value. Okay, so all of our x values are smaller than 4 or less than 4. So on this one, x is less than 4. And again, no line because there's an open circle. Okay, now if we look at our range, which is our y values, we go bottom to top. Okay, so this one, all of our y values are above or greater than -1. Okay, nothing's down here below, nothing's there, they're all going up. Okay, so our range, y is greater than, open circle because there's no line, or no line because there's an open circle, -1. Okay, so see if you can do this one on your own. So hopefully you paused it and tried this one. So let's see, we have a one stopper. Okay, this point right here is 1, -2. And again, it's going to keep going up forever and ever and ever. Domain is our x's. We go left to right. Okay, so if I'm looking, here's where my point is. There's the kind of wall. Everything's going in the less than direction. Okay, everything's getting smaller. So my x values are less than or equal to, because of the closed circle, 1. Okay, now when I look at my range, bottom to top, bottom to top. Okay, my range is my y values. So all of them are getting bigger. They're all going up. Okay, nothing's going down, so everything's going up. So my range, y is greater than or equal to, again, closed circle, -2. Okay. This one is a no stops. Now, we have to be careful with that. Okay, when we're talking about our x values or domains, okay, again, going left to right, we notice that this is going in the negative direction forever and in the positive direction forever, which means this is covering all real numbers. Okay? And when we talk about our range or y values, we go bottom to top. we notice that it's not going up or down. It's staying at one constant y value. Well, what is that constant y value? Well, it's a positive 2. So y is just going to equal 2. It's very similar to the ones where we had x equal a number. Okay, but now this is a horizontal line rather than a vertical line. Okay, so you try this one on your own. Pause the video. So hopefully you paused the video and you saw that this is a no stops again. My domain, remember, it's going to keep going in the negative direction, keep going in the positive direction. So my domain is all real numbers. Okay, my range is staying at one constant y value, which means it's just y equals negative 4. Okay, so hopefully you got that. We're almost done, I promise. Okay, so looking here, we have another one stopper. Okay, it's going to keep going up. It's another vertical line, okay, meaning it goes up and down. Okay, this point right here is negative 3, negative 3. My domain goes left to right. I'm staying at one constant x value. It's not going left or right. Okay, so it's just going to be x equals negative 3. Okay, my range though, I just have one. All of my y values are getting bigger. So I'm going to say my range is greater than, no line, open circle, negative 3. Okay? So then we have this one, this last one. See if you can try to figure this one out on your own. Okay, so we have a one stopper again. Domain is our x, range is our y's. We need to label this point. We go over 3, down 1, so 3, negative 1. Remember, it's going to keep going up. Okay, the domain, left to right, it's not going left to right. It's staying at one constant x value. So my domain is just x equals 3. But my range, bottom to top, all of my values are getting bigger. They're going up from my negative 1. So y is greater than, no line, open circle, negative 1. Okay, so let's look at the last two. These are ones that we got to draw ourselves. So create your own graph that meets the following criteria. The domain is all real numbers. Okay, the range is 1. Well, did we do one with domain of all real numbers and a range that's just a number? Yeah, we did. It looks something like one of these two. So this one or this one. Okay, so we need a graph that looks like this. So it means it's going to be a horizontal line. Okay, and it needs to go through the number 1. So horizontal line that goes through the number 1. Looks something like that. Done. Piece of cake. Okay, now this one, the domain is 2, but the range is all real numbers, which means our line is not going to be horizontal. It's going to be a vertical line, and now it has to go through 2 on the x-axis, which looks something, ooh, that was a really bad line, like this. Okay, so hopefully this helped. I'm sorry I couldn't be there today, my people, but I believe you can do this, so work hard on the class kick, and if you have any questions, make sure you email me, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great day, Rangers.